Welcome back, focused learners. I am absolutely thrilled you're here for today's explainer. Tonight, we're unpacking 6 major tech stories, all breaking right around July 14, 2026. Now, at first glance, these might seem completely separate, but together, they reveal a massive, seismic shift happening across the entire industry. We're talking community uprisings, unprecedented street protests, and some truly alarming security threats. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's get into it.
We've officially hit a crossroads, guys. The technology sector is at this intense inflection point, where that old, familiar mantra of growth at all costs is violently colliding with the harsh realities of sustainability, ethics, and, well, basic safety. The stories we're looking at today are really just symptoms of an industry grappling with the very real-world consequences of its own rapid, unchecked expansion.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The tech inflection point. 2. Xbox players revolt. 3. Hope for traditional gaming. 4. The anti-AI protest. 5. Critical cybersecurity crises. And 6. Apple versus OpenAI. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The tech inflection point, a collision of growth and reality.
Which leads us straight into Section 2. Xbox players revolt, a community push too far.
To really understand this inflection point, you've got to realize that decisions made in quiet, isolated corporate boardrooms just don't stay there anymore. Over in the gaming sector, Microsoft is facing a full-blown digital uprising on their own official feedback platform, Xbox Player Voice. This was all triggered by the sudden announcement of 3,200 new layoffs, which heavily impacted the very teams building the games that players love. And look at this staggering pattern of pain. Over 10,000 Xbox employees have lost their jobs in under 2.5 years. What makes this so incredibly frustrating for the community is that it's happening right alongside massive, multi-billion-dollar acquisitions. Remember, Microsoft spent nearly $69 billion on Activision Blizzard, only to immediately start cutting thousands of jobs, shuttering 8 different studios, and essentially prioritizing immediate shareholder returns over the actual human beings crafting these experiences.
And that brings us to a user named Wit Yao. On July 11th, Yao posted this simple, direct plea on the forum, and it just exploded, gathering over 3,000 votes in a mere 48 hours. Yao and the broader community laid out 3 very clear demands. First, stop announcing games that might never even see the light of day. Second, halt executive bonuses when mass layoffs are happening, a practice they find entirely tone-deaf. And third, slow down this relentless pursuit of profit so developers actually have the resources to do their jobs without living in constant fear of their studio being closed. And as of right now, Microsoft has remained completely silent.
All right, Section 3. Hope for traditional gaming. Kingdom Hearts at D23. Now, it's not all doom and gloom in the gaming world tonight, I promise. Disney just officially announced a 1-hour panel titled Deep Dive into Kingdom Hearts for the upcoming D23 Expo on August 15, 2026. This panel commemorates the franchise's 25th anniversary, and fans are buzzing that we're finally going to get some substantial news on Kingdom Hearts 4. So why does this matter to the broader tech landscape? Well, Microsoft's current strategy represents the modern live service model. Monetization first, immediate profitability, and just tossing out studios that don't hit massive numbers right out of the gate. On the flip side, you have Kingdom Hearts, which is a total defiance of that trend. It's a collaborative, long-term approach between Square Enix and Disney. You know, the fact that fans have waited over 4 years since the Kingdom Hearts 4 teaser isn't a sign of failure at all. It's a sign of creative health. It proves that respecting long development cycles for complete, story-driven games still holds enormous value in today's market. Section 4. The anti-AI protest. Society demands a pause. We're going to use that theme of friction to pivot away from just consumers and look at society at large. Because let's face it, the friction isn't just in gaming. On July 12th, San Francisco witnessed what's being called the largest anti-AI demonstration in American history. People marched directly on the headquarters of OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google DeepMind. And this wasn't just some fringe group, guys. This was a massive, highly diverse coalition. Look at this breakdown. 40% of the protesters were actually tech workers themselves. 35% were students genuinely worried about their future, and 25% were environmental activists. They marched for 4 solid hours with one simple unified message: stop the AI race. So what did this coalition actually want? They outlined 3 primary concerns. First, unpredictable AI safety. Protesters are arguing that these companies are building systems they don't even fully understand yet. Second, massive job displacement, specifically pointing to the over 150,000 tech layoffs we've seen in 2026 alone. And third, the staggering environmental impact. Just as one example, Google DeepMind's AI data centers consumed over 2.5 terawatt-hours of electricity in 2025. To put that into perspective, that is enough power to run a city of 500,000 people. And while the AI companies are remaining publicly silent about all this, internal sources are reporting some serious emergency scrambles behind the scenes to figure out a response strategy.
Section 5. Critical Cybersecurity Crises. Infrastructure under attack.
Moving from physical protests, we arrive at our next big symptom of this tech crossroads. This rapid, breakneck speed of innovation we've been talking about, it's actively leaving our critical web and system infrastructure incredibly vulnerable to devastating attacks. Now, what's really interesting about this is the number 10.0. In the world of cybersecurity, this is an absolute nightmare. We're talking the maximum possible severity score on the CVSS scale. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, just had to issue emergency warnings for 2 zero-day vulnerabilities, meaning developers had days to fix it. Actually, scratch out, they had 0 days to fix them before hackers were already exploiting them in the wild, earning that exact catastrophic score.
These vulnerabilities are sitting inside 2 super popular Joomla extensions, ICGenda and Balboa Forms. Both of these are unrestricted file upload vulnerabilities that require absolutely zero authentication. That means attackers are easily bypassing security to upload malicious PHP code, basically scripts that run directly on the web server itself, giving them complete, unauthenticated control over those servers. And what's worse, these have been actively exploited in the wild since mid-June of 2026, putting literally thousands of installations at immediate severe risk.
And hey, the threats aren't just living on web servers either. The sophistication of endpoint malware has become downright terrifying. Check out CrashStealer. It's a new, highly dangerous Mac OS malware written entirely in native C++. It actually manages to bypass Gatekeeper, which is Apple's own built-in security, by securing a valid Apple notarization. From there, it hides its download behind a fake meeting pin to evade security researchers before finally using social engineering to trick the user into running it. Once it's inside your machine, it's lethal. It silently steals your browser data, drains roughly 80 different types of crypto wallets, and extracts every single password you've got stored in your macOS keychain. No joke.
And finally, Section 6, Apple versus OpenAI, a corporate thriller. When you've got an industry where growth is absolutely everything and security is breaking down, well, you get corporate warfare. We've got explosive new court filings in Apple's ongoing lawsuit against OpenAI. And let me tell you, this reads exactly like a Hollywood espionage thriller. In this desperate race for hardware supremacy, ethical lines aren't just being blurred anymore, they are being completely erased. Currently, over 400 former Apple employees are working at OpenAI. Now, some of that is just normal industry movement, but what's being alleged here is far from normal. Court documents reveal that an engineer named Chang Liu allegedly exploited an internal Apple bug to keep accessing confidential servers for weeks after he was actually terminated. He then took an Apple-issued laptop, which was loaded with highly confidential technical documents and circuit diagrams, directly to his new job at OpenAI. So we are talking about the leap from simply transferring talent to alleged digital and physical corporate theft.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how far the envelope is being pushed right now. I mean, take the explosive allegation against Tang Tan, OpenAI's chief hardware officer. Before he even left Apple, he allegedly advised candidates to bring unreleased Apple hardware components, we're talking actual physical logic boards and batteries, into their OpenAI interviews as literal show and tell props. You can't make this stuff up. Apple is striking back hard now for 2 big reasons. Yes, they want compensation for the stolen data, but strategically, they want to cripple OpenAI's existential threat. OpenAI is actively trying to build a world-class AI hardware device that could potentially rival the iPhone, and Apple is clearly pulling no punches to protect its empire. So think about it. We've got Xbox communities in total revolt, everyday citizens taking to the streets to protest AI, maximum severity 0-day vulnerabilities tearing through servers, and trillion-dollar companies accusing each other of literal corporate espionage. We're living in a chaotic, dangerous, yet undeniably thrilling era of technology, where the decisions made today are actively shaping the fabric of our future. It really forces us to ask, with an industry this volatile, what happens tomorrow? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.